one of the most breaking thing for me was this tip: invest in a laptop. That doesn't sound too helpful, but if you're sure about music production, that's very true. If you've ever wondered if you should do it, I tell you from deep of my heart, do it. After I got my first laptop, it was about a year ago, first a couple of months I could not work on that small screen, no studio monitors, no mouse, weak CPU, etc. But I was thrown on deep water, since after 1 month I got on board with PML, I had over 2-week trip without my desktop PC, when I still had to do 1 post or 1 track a day, so I didn't have any choice. I got a laptop especially for this trip, which I have with me till this day, and before that when I was seeing surveys about where do you make music either on desktop or laptop, 60% of people said that they do their music on a laptop. Also, I follow a lot of great artists on Instagram, and I every day see how they do music on their laptops, like Virtual Riot, for example. He does everything on his MacBook. And why am I telling you this? Since someday, at a certain point of your music production journey, it will be better for you if you have your studio mobile and portable than having a great desktop computer with NASA CPU. Opportunity to make something on a train or on a bus or at a friend's place or on a trip, it will be a total life changer for you if you haven't got a laptop yet. And if you do have a laptop already, I would really encourage you to first off solve any problems with compatibility between your desktop PC and laptop, since having the same stuff on your laptop and on your desktop is crucial in that case, since everything you work on at your studio in your home, you can take with you on a trip or wherever. And I see that after 1 year of using a laptop from time to time, I started to travel that much that I was way more time on the road than in my studio. I didn't really need anymore to work on a desktop computer. One thing you for sure need to do is adjust mixing on a proper studio monitors and do mastering, for example. But I found myself that most of great projects of mine started and were developed on a laptop, not a desktop. And that was a really game changer for me, since every time I got inspired and got creative on the trip, since you usually get stuff in your head when you're not in studio, I could and can immediately do it and write it down into my Ableton on my laptop. So I would really suggest you getting a laptop that you can go with on a trip and make stuff in a free time, for example, or when on the road. It doesn't have to be a beast laptop for 5K, but it should be something that you can write down ideas on and develop them as much as you can. Nowadays, CPUs and laptops getting way cheaper than 5 years ago, so I would really suggest you looking up for some used laptops on Craigslist or eBay. But that's something for you guys who are very sure about music production. And imagine that it doesn't have to be only for music production. It could be for writing down text, blog, running a YouTube channel from it. And I think that having a laptop these days is very useful and not that very expensive. So that's exactly what happened in this case here. When I went on this trip, it was from Europe to Panama, so I had about 10 hours of flight in a daylight, so I could not sleep at all. Of course, my laptop could not last than 2 hours of Ableton work, but I actually didn't even make it die. So that's what happened here. I recorded the plane departing with my voice memos. And after we departed, I immediately opened my laptop, and I'm sure that you can feel it when you have nothing to do, like when you're on a plane or on a bus, you don't have anything else to do, and having a laptop is a really good solution to that. And especially when you're doing something productive, like watching a course or making music. So I've high-passed it and add beat reduction. and I've added redux, which make the sound super noisy, and it didn't really make sense, but I've added reverb to it. And I was left with this noise sound. After that, I've added resonator and choose some preset from there. I found Berlin or Los Angeles working the best, so I used it. I've recorded this sample, which you've just heard, and I actually have it here opened. So I had this sample here. Pretty nice thing already, and with EQ8 here. I really encourage you to often add samples as MIDI and play with the ADSR settings. And that's the beauty of Ableton, since you can add infinite amount of effects, render the sample, then play it again, but frozen as a MIDI, and then add more effects and have very surprising ideas and sounds coming out of this. So I've played a simple MIDI like this on my typing keyboard in a plane. That was literally the first thing I played. I layered it with some bass sound here. And I actually took some drums with old project of mine which sound like this, and it came out to be this thing. Very simple stuff as this thing. So as you can see, everything comes into the first points of our course, to recording your own samples, having a MIDI keyboard, and thinking how something could fit as what. Maybe as an effect, maybe as a lead sound, maybe as a chorus, maybe as a pad, maybe as an ambient soundscape. And that's what you could take advantage of when you don't have anything to do, which is most likely happening when you're on the road. And that's why I would really encourage you, if you don't have a laptop yet, get one, even used one. It doesn't have to be the best CPU laptop out there, but make sure to have a decent amount of RAM. I like to have at least 16 gigabytes and CPU from 2015. That way you will squeeze everything you can out of creativity and inspiration, since you could always write down the ideas on a paper or on a phone, or as we said, record samples on your phone. But for example, you could immediately start to developing those ideas that you've recorded through your phone. So that's why I would really encourage you to do it. Another thing will be to start your songs, as we said already, with templates. So when you're on the road, you have some idea, you have already a template that you can start with. It could be a simple drum groove in MIDI with your favorite drums and a couple of pads, chords and bass. We have a lot of templates on our site, so I'm sure that you will find something that appeals to you.